Teresa Terry would do just about anything to defend the 250-acre property that's been in her husband's family 7 generations in rural Southwest Virginia. But a short drive behind where their house is reveals a scar even she couldn't stop.
We're actually sitting right now on the pipe.
Gone is the forest, and in its place is an underground pipeline that tore through 14 of her acres in Roanoke County.
All those trees, you have no idea how much that breaks my heart.
8 years ago, when Terry was 61, she climbed into one of those trees to protest the pipeline. She didn't come down for 34 days.
It slowed them down, and it brought attention to how they were raping us.
The nearly $8 billion Mountain Valley Pipeline is designed to meet growing energy demands in the Mid-Atlantic and South by transporting gas from fields in Pennsylvania and Ohio. From the moment it was proposed, the pipeline has faced opposition, from fears about how it would affect the water and forests to concerns about emissions of greenhouse gases.
I do believe in science. We need to get away from natural gas. We need to get away from oil.
Residents along the path and environmental groups spent years pushing back on the pipeline. They had some success. The court paused construction numerous times.
The pipeline had sort of been forced through some of these federal and state agencies, the permitting process, and the courts had identified real problems with the analysis.
But in 2023, everything changed when President Joe Biden signed a bill raising the nation's borrowing limit. Inside was an unrelated mandate that permits be issued for the MVP, a project spearheaded by then-Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, a moderate Democrat who was the key vote for Biden's sweeping climate change legislation the year before.
It had Congress inserting itself into the legal process, into the place where the courts are usually the ones who decide the law.
Despite dozens of environmental violations over the years, a slew of legal challenges, and a price tag double the initial estimate, the pipeline received approval in 2024 by the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
And while the pipeline is underground and cannot actually be seen once it's built, the remnants are still here.
Terry and other residents along the 303-mile path that stretches from northern West Virginia to southwest Virginia were compensated for giving up their land. But for many, it was through eminent domain, so they didn't have a choice. The company tells Spectrum News the pipeline is safely and effectively serving our nation's demand for reliable, affordable, and lower carbon energy. And it cites a federal report that found the MVP played a crucial role in maintaining reliable electric supply when a brutal cold snap in 2025 created a surge in demand. But opponents say the MVP does not embrace a clean energy future.
Gas creates carbon emissions that are contributing to the climate crisis that we're in.
I had over 100-year-old apple tree up there.
And while digging may have stopped outside Terry's home, despite the company's assurances it's safe, she worries about the line.
It's a bomb that's going to blow up.
And what it's done to the land.
Would you give up that money in exchange to have this land back?
In a split second.
Hunter Page's land in Rockingham County, North Carolina is full of buildings he constructed himself. But a golf cart's drive to the edge of his 50-acre property is something he didn't build and he doesn't want.
Gonna go right here, 8 foot away from the other one.
An underground gas pipeline built in the 1960s and replaced around a decade ago runs right through his property.
When you ride across here on your golf cart or whatever, you don't mind, you'll bounce you out because they don't maintain it.
And now he's set to get another pipeline just a couple feet away.
Does that worry you that they're so close together?
Well, if one blows, what is it going to do to the other one?
The 303-mile Mountain Valley natural gas pipeline is on track to extend another 31 miles south through Virginia to delivery points outside Eden, North Carolina. The company tells Spectrum News the MVP Southgate project is necessary to diversify the state's natural gas supply and promote competition. Southgate has received approvals to proceed, but there are still challenges in court.
This here is where the pipeline is going to go.
Crystal Cavalier began pushing back on the extension in 2018, leaving her career in counterintelligence to create an organization focused on stopping the pipeline. At that time, she says the line was supposed to cut through Occoneechee-Saponi tribal lands in rural North Carolina. She's a member of the tribe.
My biggest fears, one is explosion, and then the other biggest fear is the water quality.
Because of opposition, she says, the path of the pipeline was changed, but she's still worried about what's to come here in Rockingham County. One of the concerns with the extension is what it will mean for waterways like the Dan River. The pipeline is supposed to be buried beneath it.
This whole field will be covered in pipeline.
Longtime resident Buck Purgason has fished this river 60 years.
My dad took me down fishing. We'd sit on the bank, catch those little catfish, take them home, fry them up for supper, and nothing better.
While the company tells Spectrum News the project has undergone rigorous regulatory review and federal and state agencies have concluded the project can be built safely and responsibly, Purgason worries about sediment collecting in the river as a result of the construction, harming the fish.
I taught my kids to fish it. I had a son, Adam. He loved this river. He floated it all the time. He got killed in 2014 in an auto accident. And I'm trying to carry his legacy on because I know he would want to protect this river.
And while the company says the Southgate project will result in tax revenue and 220 jobs in North Carolina,
The original line in 1961 was put here.
if the choice was up to Hunter Page, he'd turn down having another pipeline in his backyard, even if it meant not receiving the money offered to him. Then again, he didn't have a choice.
Sent me a letter and said, if you don't sign by December the 18th, we're going to go to eminent domain.
Now he prepares for a second pipeline as the MVP continues its path south. In Eden, North Carolina, Reuben Jones, Spectrum News.